Hey y'all, it's just me. I'm sitting here in our sunroom where I have like my little office space, if you want to call it that. But I've been doing some more thinking, and I definitely think I want to use creative writing as like a career choice or as a hobby. So I don't really know where I don't know where to start, I should say. But there's I'm looking forward to taking this opportunity to see if I can make a go of it in the writing world, I guess. So I've started to make my own novel, which I'm not gonna reveal too much, but it's set in the Civil War era, and it's about a kid who grows up in a family that's torn apart after tragedy happens. So there's that. I've written I haven't written much to it, but there's a lot of really dark themes to it. So I feel like I should tone that down in a way. Because I don't want I want it to be real, but I don't want it to be too real. Because I know this has happened to many people out there with some of the things that happened in this book. And it's just kind of sad, honestly. But it's not the first sort of novel I've tried to do. I've tried to do some other novel about a boy and a dragon. Ooh, who hasn't done that before? But it's been a while since I worked on it because I don't know. I don't know. The first three chapters are pretty good, and I feel like I could get a good story flowing. I just gotta I have to figure out how to make that story flow and make it coincide with themes that are going on. If that makes any sense. I've probably not worked on it in over 6 or 7 months, but there was a time where I wrote 4 or 5 chapters and then I edited them again, basically redid what I wrote and then wrote it again and again. And then now it's just kind of at a point where I've got a concise end. No, I've got an end point where I want this story to go, and I've got a beginning. It's just finding all the middle. I'll figure out what to do about it at some point because I don't want to give up on that. On this little short, it's not short. It's a work of fiction, is what I'm trying to say. But I've showed some online friends and some of my family about it, and there's been all kinds of praise and critiques on it. Like, there's been some appraisal, but there's also been some, here's how you can improve. And I really like that people can give me critique without being harsh about it. Now, I don't know what it would be like in the real world if I were ever to post something I've made, or publish some writing I wrote. I don't know how it would stack up against some of the big dogs, but I'd like to think that I could interest people. So who knows? So I guess in a way I have 2 novels to work on. 2 that are completely different in theme, but both are pretty they paint you a picture, which is the goal. Like, with the short story I wrote the other day that I haven't showed yet to you all, I depicted someone who was drowning in anxiety and fear, and a lot of the comments I saw on it said that they felt like they were in that situation, like they could imagine. Like, for an example, if you're on the ocean and you're like unsure you're gonna survive, there's all that fear and panic setting in your mind as the waves are angry and the skies are dark and they're flashing, and it's terrifying in a way. Personally, that's kind of like what anxiety was for me. And it's like being trapped on a boat and being unsure if you will ever make it to shore, to safety. So that's a lot of what A Drowning Soul's about. Some of my, I went to community college for a 15-week semester in which you basically get remedial math and some remedial, I don't want to say remedial because I don't think that's the word you use, because it's not like a remedial class. It can be remedial for people who haven't done math or never got to finish, but it's a GED class that I took, which unfortunately I didn't finish because of a lot of personal issues, but I'm seriously considering going back and trying it again, because I think in the right headspace I would have completed no problem, because up until that point I hadn't missed a single class and I wasn't planning to miss any. But anyway, that's not where I was going with that. But the teachers I had were pretty avid in writing. They like writing, so we did a lot of writing things along with math and whatnot. The class was basically about math because that's, I guess, the subject everybody has the most issues with. And so I maybe wrote a couple of short stories, but it was mostly reflecting on myself. And if I were to be a published author, I think most of my themes and dynamics are going to be self-reflecting, or themes that for certain people who read it, they're like, yes, that's exactly how it feels. So I guess that's how I would say that, I guess. But my teachers suggested to me when I showed them my short story if I'm planning to publish it. And yes, I want to, after refining it some more. But the problem is, I guess I could just use Google or like explore my options, but I don't really know where to start to, like, say, hire an agent to help me get my work published, or just get it published in general. Like, you don't always have to have an agent to publish something, but it's a good idea to have, like, someone who's there who can help you with your work, but can also get you the ties to, like, say, a big publisher to get your novel or your short story or your poem published. Guess it's a dream for the future, if you want to say that, because I definitely want to take this and run with it and see where I can go. I have the capability to do that. I just need to figure out the steps to get it enacted. if that makes sense. There's a lot to think about in the next coming months, especially with the whole COVID scene going on. It's just making things a hassle. I'm sure you all very well know that, because I'm sure you've all had situations in this whole COVID scene that have just been a real hassle for you, that in normal times maybe wouldn't have been an issue. So after I fed our animals this morning, I went to bed because I stayed up all night, because I'm the type of person who can oversleep an alarm no matter how loud it is. So I wasn't willing to risk not being able to get up on time and feed the animals, because I don't want all that drama happening. So I just stayed up until like 7 a.m. and then I crashed. Now I'm here and it's nearly 5 p.m. I'm happy with where my life is going, and that's perhaps the best thing I could ever want. I feel like my life is beginning to start to go in a direction, and I know I'll be surprised where this direction takes me, but there's a lot that's gonna go on in the future, and it's just up to me on which path I choose. If that makes sense. It goes the same for all of you. You all have your own path that you can deviate on or define, and sure, certain things happen that you can't prevent, but you can always make a choice to go on a good path, or to go on that path, or this path, or just go on some sort of path that you spiral downhill, or you spiral uphill. But in a way, I guess, don't let your path define you. If you're gonna be defined by your path, make it a good path. Because you don't want to be remembered for all the bad things you did. You want to be remembered for the good you've done. So there's that, I guess. Well, I think that's it for this video. Surprise, there's 2 videos in really one day. Amazing. So there's some interesting things that are gonna possibly happen on this channel, and I'm looking forward to it. So for now, I guess I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace.